Hello everyone, Dr. Suneel Dhand. Now it is no secret that we have a mental health catastrophe in so many countries all across the world. And let's be clear, we were already facing major issues before 2020, but since 2020, over the last couple of years, we have seen an acceleration in these trends for very obvious reasons. As for the United States, according to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, over 20% of the population, that's over 50 million people, experienced a mental illness in 2020. Almost 6% of people, that's over 15 million, had a severe mental illness, and in about 7%, worryingly, it was associated with a substance use problem. As for children and adolescents, the statistics fare no better. In fact, they may even be worse. These are children we're talking about. According to the CDC themselves, in 5 to 11-year-olds, emergency room visits for mental health issues were up 25% in 2020 compared to the year before 2019. And in 12 to 17-year-olds, it was up 30% compared to 2019. These are children and adolescents we're talking about. Coming back again to substance use issues, the United States reached the horrible statistic in 2021 of experiencing over 100,000 overdose deaths for the first time ever. Remember, many of these were in young people. So how do we even begin to reverse this situation, to reverse this tanker around and bring down these awful numbers? Well, I am not a pessimist by nature. I'm an optimist. But I actually don't see any easy solutions at all. In fact, I only see it getting worse for the foreseeable future for many different reasons. I'm also concerned that the United States, like many Western countries, will think that the solution to this is to have large numbers of people on more medications. That is not the right long-term or even short-term solution here to this problem. Why has this occurred? Why do we have this mental health crisis that predates 2020? Well, without meaning to get up on my high horse and sound preachy, or maybe I do mean to do that, I think that these numbers represent a society, a culture which is in decline and has been in decline for some time. Look no further than the last 15 years and smartphone culture, which encourages instantaneous hyper-emotional reactions to situations, instant gratification, especially affecting younger people. I am a follower of the philosophy of Stoicism. I think it is a great ancient philosophy that has answers to many of the questions we face today. But we live in the complete opposite of a Stoic society. Stoicism is all about calm, rational thinking, of learning to be in control of one's own emotions and understanding that individuals and the world works in a certain way. And we can't control the ways of the world, but we can control our own reactions to situations. But unfortunately, again, we are the complete opposite of a Stoic society. We have, as a society, lost our complete moral and ethical foundations. People out there, millions and millions of people, are completely and utterly lost compared to where they were a few decades ago, our grandparents' and grandparents' generations, which generally lived in a much more grounded society and one where there was much more a sense of duty as well compared to what we have today, sadly. We can talk about religion. Now, religion, for all of the bad things that it may have brought to the world, especially in terms of extremism, it did give people a stronger moral and ethical foundation that is lacking right now. Most, if not all, world religions are actually good at their core in terms of what they teach about basic philosophies to live one's life by. But more and more people do not follow any organized religion anymore. Instead, we worship all of the wrong things in society. We worship the wrong individuals, and we worship the wrong type of cultural phenomena as well, in that people out there, millions and millions of people, are seeking fame, they're seeking wealth, but aren't grounded enough to realize that these things won't bring them long-term happiness by any stretch of the imagination. Lifestyle, that's another big factor. As a physician, that is my area of expertise and my specialty, metabolic health. We consume a diet now which is absolutely terrible, and the role of that is not to be underestimated in terms of making us feel bad, a diet which leads to a chronic inflammatory state. Following on other lifestyle measures, we are much more sedentary than we were a few decades ago. Our grandparents and great-grandparents used to get up and move around much more than we do today, sadly. And that also plays into us feeling absolutely terrible in many ways if we are not getting up and exercising. Social media, again, leads to us being much more solitary. We cannot underestimate the role of good company. As animals, we are social animals. Humans are built to interact with others. And we have much less time now for good company than we did a few decades ago. And that is a key to happiness. Obviously, hang out with the right company, not the wrong company, but we are built to interact with others. So what are some answers here? Well, I don't pretend to know all the answers to our mental health crisis, but I would touch upon some of those areas I just mentioned. Firstly, less screen time is the answer for many people. Living in a world of your smartphones, which deliberately, by the way, especially as far as social media companies go, have algorithms which poke and prod you and want to elicit those hyper-emotional responses. They are not going to bring you long-term happiness. The less time you spend with your phone, the better. And that applies to any adult, or if you want to give advice to a younger person, especially a child, that is key. Limit smartphone time. As I said, you want to be in good company. You want to get out and actually be around other people, good company. Get outdoors. We're much more indoors than we were before. You see, a few decades ago, children, young people used to be outside, getting sunlight, playing with their friends, interacting with people outside. We no longer do that anymore. So again, I don't pretend to know all the answers to our mental health catastrophe, but I do think I know where we've gone so badly wrong. Let me know what your thoughts are. Am I being too pessimistic here? I do not see this problem getting better because the whole moral, ethical foundations of society, the things that we value and the direction that we're going in is completely wrong. So how on earth could this problem possibly get better for the foreseeable future? Thanks everybody for listening. Dr. Suneel Dhand. Do hit the subscribe button down below for more similar videos on my news channel. You can also follow me on my Real Medicine and Health Science channel. The link is down below. We will speak again very soon.